positively.
Inclusion in the classroom. What is inclusion? Inclusion is the process of bringing children with disabilities into the general classroom. This is a definition from the book Exceptional Education of Children. I'm working on my degree at Iowa Western to get my education for elementary. Students with disabilities should not have to be excluded just because they are the way they are. Today I would like to persuade you why inclusion is important, how inclusion can be done within the classroom, and how it benefits children and parents. First off, what does inclusion come from? Inclusion comes from the No Child Left Behind Act and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. The No Child Left Behind law strives to improve the education of students with disabilities in our nation's schools, so they get the education just like every other child. IDEA requires specialized services for students with disabilities so they can benefit from their education. Inclusion of a student also comes with a program that makes sure that students get what they need. It's called an IEP, or an individualized education plan. An IEP is used to increase the collaboration between teachers and parents so that the child can strive and get within the general population and the specialized program. IEPs provide students with three important things. Go ahead. Students benefit from his or her education, the progress in the general curriculum. They're learning what every other child learns. And they have the ability to be educated alongside those without disabilities, so they are treated just like other children. Inclusion in the classroom is not easy, but it can be done. Not all children with disabilities are in the general classroom. Okay. At least 56.5% of students with mental retardation received all of their instruction in a specialized classroom or a specialized school. This statistic comes from the TASH website. This was in the year 2002. How to make inclusion work in the classroom. Leave it here. Making sure that general teachers have the education of a teacher that knows kids how to work with kids with disabilities. If they have that training, they aren't so flustered when they get a child with Down syndrome. As I said before, making sure that teachers and parents work on IEPs together so that the child can benefit the most from it. If these conditions are sufficient funding so that schools will be able to develop programs for students with disabilities based on the need of the student instead of the availability of funding or the lack thereof. That is from Education World. If these conditions are met, the fear of putting a child with disabilities in the general classroom is diminished. Parents won't feel as bad as putting their child with Down syndrome in a regular classroom. The children that are included learn how to strive as adults. Go ahead. Role modeling. Students are included in the general classroom and learn from their fellow students on how to behave and act as they get older and in the classroom as their fellow peers. Without being included, they won't learn how to behave and act around other children and other adults. Friendships and diversity. Friendships are crucial to our social development, and these are teachable moments that are very difficult to accomplish later in life. This comes from parents.com. They believe that if children don't develop those friendships, that they are more detached as adults. There is a mutual benefit to segregation. Children exposed to the many faces of humanity grow up to be better, more well-adjusted adults. They don't judge people by what they look like. They accept everybody for who they are. In conclusion, you were able to see what inclusion was, how it can be done in the classroom, and why children and parents benefit from it. I'm going to end the speech with a quote from Jerry Katzerman. He's from the Southern Poverty Law Center. All children do better. Go ahead. All children do better in an inclusive environment. There are higher expectations of children with disabilities in an inclusive classroom, and they have the opportunities for social interaction they don't have in segregated classrooms. They also benefit the other students without disabilities who get more exposure to diverse learning styles. Thank you.
Very good.
That was awesome.
Very, very good.